Okay, I have turned on recording also. So today before starting our lesson, I should mention that I found only few of you, around 20 people have respond to the quiz. So what's the reason? Actually, if somebody gets attendance to the lecture, it's the best way to get it, because most of you sometimes may not get the internet connection properly to connect to a video lecture. So most of the time these quizzes may be used for getting attendance. So and that's a very good indicator to check whether you have followed the lectures actually, lecture material. So I request you all to get do the assignment, do the quiz. And I think if you want an extension, please let me know. Then I can make that available for around 2 or 3 more days. Okay, so let's start. So today we are going to talk about project human resource management. So this is I selected this topic today because it's quite a short topic compared with the other topics available. We have 2 more topics to discuss. So this human resources management, project procurement management, where we will talk about how we are going to manage the outsourcing, and the other thing is integration management, where we are trying to integrate all the other 8 knowledge management areas into a single line. So human resources are the most important asset of any organization or IT company. So, so why do you think that this has become such an important asset? So this is in this topic we'll be talking about, firstly about the importance of human resource management, then what is human resource management, and about the main processes. We have 4 main processes under this project knowledge management area. We have human resources planning, acquiring the project team, developing the project team, and
Amani.
managing the project team. Okay, it's better to mute your microphones. So, and also your video camera. So that would actually consume less data. So, so these are the main processes we'll be talking today. So let's proceed. So the importance of human resource management. So as I told you earlier as well, this has become a main important asset of any organization. That's mainly because people drive the projects, not the computers, not the other facilities they have, only people. If they keep happy and work together cooperatively, the project should succeed. So that's the main importance of human resources and its management in a project. So mainly in IT projects, we need human resources, mainly because of its IT projects behaviors, like IT projects features, like the uncertainty. Mainly that is the uncertainty can be actually resolved well by having a very good set of personals in a company. So the importance of human resource management here, as it's highlighted, people determine the success and failure of organizations and projects, and people are the most important assets. And if you look at Google, Google Jobs, so what are the benefits they have? So you can see in this page what Google careers offer. There are very few in this given in this page actually. I think if you look at this link, you can, so in the chat window I have sent you a link, so you can have a look at that link and look at what benefits these Google careers have. So this is mainly because of they have understood their importance of this importance of the employees. So mainly the success and failure of an organization is mainly determined by these human resources. So you can see what benefits they get, they are given to make these workers happy by these large profit earning companies. So so as an example, they are given some these very good conditioned exercise gyms and traveling insurances, and for the new parents there are child care caring centers, and if you want to learn something they will financially help you, and also they will give you time, and about the legal problems they will give legal help. So these are very few, and if you follow that link you can find more. So that's why I think now you understand the place given to human resources in a company. So let's see how we can manage these human resources properly to get the highest benefit. So as a project manager, if you, I think most of you when you employ to an IT company, so one of many of your dream would be a project manager, because they earn very high amount of salary. However, their job is very stressful and have many responsibilities, but they enjoy the best half of the whatever the benefits. So first of all, let's see what is management of these human resources. So this includes the processes required to make the most effective use of the people. So processes, there are 4 processes as I told you earlier as well. We'll develop HR plan, and then acquire project team, and then develop the project team and manage the project team. So let's go one by one and have a look at these management processes. So in human resource planning, what we do is we try to identify and document project roles, responsibilities, and we would report the relationships. And then we would acquire the project team in the second process. So there we identified personnel would be assigned to be working in that project. So that's what we do in acquiring. And then you develop the project team by building the skills and improving their interpersonal relationships to enhance the project performance. And then we would manage the project team by tracking by tracking their team working performance by having different measures. We may look at the performance, and we would motivate the team members, and then we would have good conversations and give feedback about their work, working together, and resolve any, if there are any issues and conflicts. I think so you are at the end of the second year, and in the third year, you know, you have a group project to do. So in that group project also, it's something like what you would do in a company. So so there are also, you will understand that there are conflicts. Although you listen to the lecture together like this, when you are put into a group, you may feel like, I don't like to work with this person. So in most of the groups, they overcome that, they resolve those conflicts. However, in some projects, mostly 1 or 2 people work, mainly because they can't get along with that other guys who does not have their own opinion. There are different opinions, and these conflicts occur because of that. And if you don't resolve those conflicts, so if we select 4 people to a single group to work in a single IT project, that it would not at the end be successful. The main reason behind is so you know, if there's 1 stick, it's not strong enough. There are 2 sticks and 3 sticks, and 4 sticks get together, it's very strong. So it's like a chain. When these blocks of chain do not get long, that doesn't work, something like that, simply. So this team working is really important in a project. So human resources have to do it. We have to use the human resources to do it in the view of a project manager. So if I am the project manager, I have to make sure our team members work smoothly in the team to the wider goal of achieving the objectives of the project. So next we look at in what stage this process initiate. So you can see here, the planning always start at the initially in the project, and then executing. In the executing state, this acquiring, developing, and managing project team occurs. So, so that starts soon after we develop the human resource plan, and that would continue until the end of the project. So that's those are the phases where these processes occur. And if you look at this, how we are going to manage people. So these people are not like the other resources. We need to look at their mentality. Okay, it's not like some working with some computers or other resources. So people also have a psychological side. So psychologists and these management theories have devoted much research into this. So they have highlighted these important areas need to be taken into account. There are motivation theories, and we need to influence and power sometimes, and we have to think about effectiveness of those as well. So about the motivation, talking about the motivation, there are intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. There are two types of motivations. One thing is intrinsic, the other thing is extrinsic. So you may, I mean, in your life, if you think about this computer science subject, you may have seen in your batch also, there are some people who are very good at coding. Okay, so why is that? Some people are not very good, and if a lecturer or in a lecture, in a course, if they are asked to do something, they just do it and try to get rid of that. Okay, some people are not like that. When they are given a problem, they do it and they make another problem and they try to expand it and do the maximum out of it and get the maximum. It's something like in your projects also we have seen that. So if you are, I mean, this is important for your coming project, computer science project also. So if you are given a topic, as an example, if we would say, so you are asked to develop some website to help doctors to monitor the temperature of COVID-19 patients. Okay, so some people may develop it and they would add some for additional features like tracking patients' address and nearby addresses and their contacts, and then the address, then they would create a map, and likewise they would expand the project. Okay, some people are like that, but the other group, they would just create that exact thing required and stop it. Okay, so they just do it because they are asked to do it, and to get to avoid that getting failed in that subject. Okay, the other people, they enjoy doing it. After doing something, we will add some more and expand it and see what happens. So there are people like that. Okay, so this intrinsic motivation would cause these students to participate in an activity for their own enjoyment. So they do it and they try to add more things because they enjoy doing it. Okay, it's something simple. So in extrinsic motivation, it's not like, so people do something for a reward or maybe avoiding penalty, like they just do the website, however, just for avoiding failed in that subject, avoiding to fail in that subject. Okay, So in intrinsic motivation, it's not like, so it's in your blood, it's in your body. You need to do that. Okay. So if you do your job also for intrinsic motivation, you can find the success. So that's the psychological theory. Okay. So you can apply that to your own life also. Try to identify your interest and follow after that. Then you can convert your career also into that path. So then you will find the real happiness in the life. So there's an example given here. Some children take piano lessons for intrinsic motivation. They enjoy doing it. They are not, your parents don't ask you to do the piano lesson always. But you go there and do it. Okay, it's something simple like coding your own project in a very best way you like. Okay. So the others takes it as an extrinsic motivation, like try to avoid a punishment. So I would say to my child, if you don't write the letters, I will not give you a chocolate. Okay. Or I will not allow you to see the TV. So that to avoid that punishment, he or she may write the letters. So that's extrinsic motivation. So I think now you understand this intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. So we have to identify a person, human resource, whether he is to that particular job assigned, extrinsically motivated or intrinsically motivated. So as a project manager, you have to do that. So in psychology, so these are the several psychological theories project management managers may require to manage human resources well. So the first thing is about this motivation. So we did that, and we'll move to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So this person argued that human beings possess unique qualities that would enable them to make independent choices, thus giving them control of their destiny. Okay, so he developed a hierarchy of needs. It is very, very popular. So you can see we are stuck with this COVID-19 in the second stage, safety. So the first thing we need is psychological needs. What are the psychological needs? Psychological needs, good food, okay, good hygiene. So those are the things we require for day-to-day life. So there. So these psychological needs are normally satisfied need. So the second important thing is the safety. So likewise, people have their needs, motivation from low to high. Okay. So they are highly motivated as they are reaching the step 5. So, so likewise, they have safety needs. So we are now stuck at that level. So we would, firstly, we need to have the satisfaction. We need to have good food and some place to live. So those are basic psychological needs of a person. And then safety needs, we need to be safe from the viruses and from all these diseases, and also from the accidents and those risks. Okay. And then social needs. So we need to contact with the other people and make some important relationships likewise. Okay. Then there are esteem related things, like you need to do something. Maybe you are good at coding and you are intrinsic motivator of that. So so likewise, at the esteem, you will achieve some job which would give you happiness. At the self-actualization, so there you have fulfilled everything. You really feel that I have acquired everything I need at this stage of the needs. Okay, so the motivation there is very, very high. So you can see the need, how these people's behavior are guided by this sequence of needs. So being knowing these psychology theories would help you to in the coming human resource management areas, processes. So the first one is planning. So it would involve identifying and documenting roles of the project, responsibilities, and reporting the relationships. So there, what do we require to identify the project roles? So there actually we need WBS. So what is WBS? The work breakdown structure we talked previously. So this is work breakdown structure would actually give us the work activities required for the project. So then we can think about which persons we need to hire or acquire for the project. So then identifying and document project roles, responsibilities, we can do that using this WBS. So that's the main document we require in this process. So what are the main outputs? The outputs would be project organizational charts, responsibility assignment matrices, resource histograms, and staffing management plan. So let's look at few of these outputs now. So this is a sample organizational chart. I think for the university also there's an organizational chart. You may have seen that, I think most of you. So, so you can see the project manager here and who are working, which teams are working under that. Then the sub teams who are working. So likewise, people who are responsible for different groups or teams are given in this organizational chart. So this shows you how all the things are organized together. Who is having the main responsibility likewise. So the other main output is the responsibility assignment matrix. So in responsibility assignment matrix, the short term is RAM. So that would map the work of the project. So we'll use WBS to get the work to the people responsible for that project. So this is an example. So you can see in the first column, we list the WBS activities. And then this, not column actually, row. And you can see these units. Systems engineering unit, software development unit, hardware development unit, likewise. So here you can see WBS activities 7.1.1, 1.1.2, likewise. And the organizational units responsible are marked with R. So here systems engineering is responsible for 1.1.1 task. And it is performing also 1.1.2 as well as responsible at the same time. Responsible and performing, responsible and performing. This systems engineering unit only responsible is the responsible of 1.1 saying, but the performing unit is the integrated logistics support unit. So that's a responsibility assignment matrix. So here you have assigned the responsibility of each and every activity for a particular unit. So that's clearly visible here. So we know who are responsible, we know who are performing. So this is a RAM chart which is more descriptive. So here you can see the items: unit testing, integrated testing, system testing, and user acceptance testing. These are actually the work breakdown activities given here. Okay, 1.1.1 maybe it may be unit testing. So here it shows you the stakeholders A, B, C, D, E. So the stakeholders have different roles. We need unit testing to be signed off by person A. Okay, unit testing, the accountable person is person B. We need input from person C to unit testing. So you can refer to this key if you want to understand it. So this is some more detailed chart. So this looks at only responsibility and performance. But here we can see accountability, who is working at past events and who reviews this and whose input is required and sign off is required. Like us, this is more detailed than the previous. And this is also some other type of Raki chart. So this is called the Raki chart. So here also you can see the groups who are responsible, and also this is much descriptive than the first one. Who is responsible, accountable, consultant, and informed. Who is informed actually is given group B, is need to be informed what the user acceptance test after we complete it. Group A is actually the responsible person, and group C is consultation need to be done by the group 7, And who is responsible? Again, there are two people who are responsible, group A and group D. And accountable person is group E. So likewise, there are different charts which would show you the responsibility assignment. Okay, so these are some examples of those different types of charts. Lucky chart and RAM, responsibility assignment matrix. So this staffing management plan, so these again are very important. So it would describe when and how people will be added and taken off the project. So as an example, this resource histogram is again this type of chart. You can see in January we should have a project manager and 3 business analysts and here 1 programmer. So likewise, number of people who are assigned, and in the February also we have the same our group consists of same number of people. However, in March we increased the amount of programmers 1 into 4. Okay. So likewise, we remove 1 programmer and we add technical writer because we have completed the task at the end of March, so we need a writer as well. So that's how we add and remove people at different stages. So that's an example for a resource histogram. So at the end, I have given you an question. Draw resource histogram using the following information. You can draw this and upload as an assignment, as a small assignment, and I'll check that later. So acquiring the project team. So after the planning, we can see this acquiring the project team. So acquiring qualified people for the team is very crucial. So project manager is the smartest person in a project. So he should do that work properly, the recruitment of team members. So we need to follow staffing plans and also good hiring procedures, which are very important. So what are good hiring procedures? So most of the time, so when you need to hire a new person for your team, it's a very good procedure to hire a person who a team member knows. Okay, some companies therefore give their employees maybe $1 for every hour for a new person who is working, who you help to hire. Okay, and some organizations would allow people to work from home as an incentive. So there are some things like that would motivate people to work very well, and that would motivate as a project manager to acquire best personnel to your team. And what is resource loading and levering? So so after we acquire these people, actually these resources, human resources, need to be put into action at certain time periods of a project. So how can we do? Resource loading if the amount of individual resources an existing project schedule requires during specific time period. So resource histogram is a chart which will show resource loading. So this is some example of resource loading. So it actually shows you in terms of time. In January, we need this much of resources, human resources. And these are the different types. And in February, these are the human resources we require in different types likewise. So overallocation always happens when there are no enough resources required for a project. Most of the time, that is actually something happens in the IT project. So most of the time, we may not require the amount of people we need. So more resources than available need to be assigned to perform work at a given time. As an example, look at this chart. So here you can see in this histogram, these red red color bars, it would show you O allocation. This person is allocated 100% at these 2 months. And the next, not months actually, these are some amount of weeks. And this week you can see he is O allocated. He is 200% over allocated and 300% over allocated here. So this histogram would show the over allocation of individual, which should not happen actually. But having a chart like this, you can track who are the people over allocated. And resource leveling is actually, we are trying to level the things. So these people are over allocated. Can we do something to this person? So resource leveling is something we can do. So it's a technique for resolving resource conflicts. So the main purpose is smoothing the distribution of resource usage and reducing over allocation. As an example here, you can see there are 3 main tasks, A, B, and C. So looking at this chart, A requires 2 days, B requires 5 days, and C requires 3 days. So this is how you allocated people. However, by resource leveling, so if you arrange things like this, B like this, and on top of that A and C. So you can see here the number of days and the number of workers you require is constant. However, here you required much people at the initial stage, and then less number of people and the less number of people. And here you can see there are some free space. It means some people are resting. But here they have worked more time, more percentage, maybe 200% than his can be allocated. So that means he is overloaded here. Okay. So we can smooth the process. We need the same number of people these 5 days. So those people may not be over allocated. They can be given some certain time period to work on each and every day and week. Okay, so that's how we can do resource leveling. So this is some thinking process. So logically you can think and level the resources like this. So these are the benefits of resource leveling. So we are using the resources constantly. So it means we require less management. So when we do it like this, so at this peak days, where the more people are allocated, not actually more people hours are working. So in those time periods, we need to do management really well. So rather than these 3 to 5 days. And it enables project managers to use just-in-time inventory type of policy for use. When you are using subcontractors, you can just contract them, and you don't need to consult them previously and have a very good plan. Or the other expensive resources also we can do the same. And it would result in fewer problems for project personnel and the accounts department, mainly because of this. We use the resources constantly. Each and every day we have the same number of people working on same number of hours. And it would improve the morale as well. You know, if you are asked to work 12 hours for the first 2 weeks of the semester, and at the end we may not ask you to work 2 hours, that doesn't sound very nice for you, isn't it? You are in a very stressful condition at the initial stage of the semester, and at the end you have nothing to do. So it's not very fair, and it would not improve the morale. However, if you do this, it would improve the workers' morale as well. So the third process is developing the project team. So we now talked about planning, acquiring, and this is the developing. So main goal is to help people work together more effectively to improve performance. So there are some models we can follow to develop teams. So one is the Tuckman model. In there, these Tuckman have introduced in team development, there are 5 main processes take place. So assume that you are assigned the final year project. So your team initially we need to form your team, okay, if you follow this Tuckman's model. For forming involves into the introduction of team members. So we will introduce one another to our team. So assume that you are in a team of 4 people. So these 4 people work together. And storming occurs when team members have different opinions. So, so when you try to work on the problem, so assume that you are trying to find a problem. So that's the main first task you do, isn't it? So, so one person takes a project for a company, for a whatever gym, okay, gym scheduling of the gym hours. So the other one takes a project from a early child care center. So likewise, different people have different views, opinions. So you storm each other. You have different opinions. However, people would test each other by trying to make sure their opinion is the best. And most often there would be conflicts with the team members. But in the next step, normally the norm it happens. So it achieves when team members have developed a common working method. They can sit together, and now they have understood that having conflicts is not the way how to operate as a team. So they have to cooperate and collaborate each other, and replace the conflicts and the mistrust with the cooperation and collaboration. Okay, and then in the 4th process of performing, so we put the emphasis on reaching the team goals rather than working on team process. Okay, so relationships would be settled, and they would build loyalty towards each other. So you understand each other very well. That needs to happen, okay, if you follow this Tuckman model. And team is able to manage tasks that are more complex and cope with great change. So at this performing stage, the main important thing is you are not thinking about your own goal, okay? So you can't be actually think about I would be the code of this project. You have to work together rather than working towards your own goal. You have to think about your project's team process, okay? Team goal, again, looking at the objectives of your project. So that's the performance stage. And the adjourning stage, we would break up the team after they reach our goal and complete the work, okay? So those are the main 5 processes Tuckman have seen in team development, okay? So you should not stuck at storming, okay? Most of the groups we have seen, sometimes they stop at storming, and then they try to do their own thing, and after that they think, let him do the project and I will do nothing. Okay, you can't do something like that. If you need to build a very good team, you have to follow these processes, which are introduced by this Tuckman. So that's one model only. There are several other models as well. You can refer. And training is, it can help people to understand themselves and each other and understand how to work in better teams. So is training, I think you may have seen your seniors in very good software engineering companies involved in team building activities, which should give you physical challenges as well. You may go out of the office and maybe stay in a very luxury hotel and do some team building activities and training workshops as well. So maybe they are trying actually to develop these interpersonal relationships to build the teams properly. It should give these workshops, and the outdoor activities would give them some time to understand people, each other, and get to know each other very well. And managing the project team. So they should actually, PM, project managers should lead the teams in performing various project activities. So after accessing the team performance, the project manager must decide if changes should be requested and if corrective and preventive actions should be recommended, and if updates are needed to the project manager's management plans or organizational processes. So those are the responsibilities of a project manager in assessing, after assessing the team performance. So if any person need to be put into other team, he should do that. And while doing this again, this psychological related thing, social styles of different peoples need to be understood. So people are actually one of these four zones: drivers, expressives, analyticals, and amiables. So you can see here amiables and analytical and expressive people lie at different corners. Drivers and amiable people are in different corners. So if you identify different people, whether they are in different zones, so you actually you can understand from this chart properly where they are and how they should be mixed together to form a very good team. And reward and so that's about social style profile, which would be important to a project manager when he is managing the project team. And reward and recognition system is also another thing which is very important in for a good project manager. So team-based reward and recognition would promote team working. So as an example, you are that hackathon, which which held in our university by your seniors. So they are team-based, that's one of the team-based rewarding and recognition system. So that promoted teamwork, isn't it? So you as a team get together and you are not on your own goals. Did you work your own goals there? No. You worked as a team to get the reward and the recognition. Okay. So that's a very good example of reward and recognition process which happen. And so focus on rewarding teams for achieving specific goals. So in a software IT project, we should focus on achieving their team goal rather than their specific individual goals. So we should allow time for team members to mentor and help each other to meet these project goals as well and develop the human resources. Many companies do this. So if when they have particular goals, in time goals, scope goals, they give some rewards and they recognize that this team has achieved this goal the first if they want the thing to be carried out really quickly. So these rewarding and recognition systems are mainly actively involved in these IT projects. And these are some tools and techniques for managing project teams. Observation and conversation, you may have heard these things. You can manage by walking around. So when these people are working in teams, so these managers would walk around and they would observe their problems, and by conversations they would try to involve with them. And performance appraisals, so providing the assessment, we can actually check the performance and appreciate that. And the conflict management, so there are several ways to manage conflicts. I think we discussed that in project communication management. So this is a very good place to revise that. So please look at that note and revise what other conflict management techniques we have and how we can apply them here. And the issue logs, you can manager can keep issue logs to document and track issues that need to be resolved. Okay. So these are the general advice on team. Be patient and kind with your team, and you can fix the problem instead of blaming people. And you should have regular meetings, and in regular meetings you can use that issue log and allow time for teams to go through basic team building stages. So you can't expect, so if you form the team today, you can't expect it working very smoothly tomorrow. Okay, you have to give time, and you should understand that Maslow's, not Maslow's, the Tuckman's, that model stages. You should see whether they are following those stages or whether they are stuck in one of those stages. And limit the size of work teams to be 3 to 7 members. We should not, that team should not be very, very big. Okay, so this general advice on teams. And you have to draw a histogram using this follow. So this is a exercise. You have to draw a resource histogram following the given information here. So I will upload the slides and you can draw the histogram and upload it as an assignment. So, and I would put an quiz for this topic as well. So attending these quizzes is really, really important. It would allow you to check your knowledge on the particular subject area. So that's important in actually checking whether you have acquired what we teach here or what we discuss here. Okay, so try to attend the quiz, and if you require an extension of the quiz time, because it would end today, I think today night. So if you can request, I have opened a chat, so you can request in the chat those who require an extension, and you have to mention how many days you require. And if there are problems in attending the quiz, so I have put only one attempt. Is that a problem? I think I put that mainly because some people would try 2 times, and that is, for some people, it's not a good thing. However, if you more people request different changes in the quizzes, I can do so. I need all of you to participate in the quizzes. And I can see there are 30 students participating in this lecture. However, I have seen only 27 or 25 who have taken the quiz. So the other people, please take the quiz and do it as soon as possible you can. Okay, thank you very much. And I have only 2 topics to cover. Maybe I'll take another 2 hours in coming weeks. And we'll discuss some questions from the exam as well. And I'll upload the tutorial, and you can do that. And if there are any problem in answering the questions in the tutorial, you can ask me from the chat or by the discussion windows, or maybe you can use my email. Okay, thank you very much. So I'll stop.